Have you heard any of those TED Talks? Ideas worth spreading. I have an idea worth spreading too. And at the core of my idea is another idea, a very old idea, that wasn't worth spreading, but it did. Fortunately, there's a new contemporary style of leadership that's beginning to halt this spread and send it into reverse. Here's the story so far. Out of this ancient idea, the one that wasn't worth spreading, grew our world's dominant human operating system. I call it a Pozzy, or POS, where P stands for pyramid. P also stands for a few words that describe this human operating system. For at the heart of our Pozzy is an emphasis on power, privilege, and your position in the hierarchy. And there's no shortage of pressure, prejudice, and punishment. In a sense, the Pozzy system serves as a production line that generates at the bottom poverty, pain, and pollution, and at the top a relatively small number of princes, priests, prima donnas, parasites, and absolute pricks. Oh, there are plenty of princesses and priestesses as well. It's not exclusively men up here, although it is a safe haven for the old boys club. Or rather, the many old boys clubs sitting atop governments, businesses, communities, and religions. If, as a group, these old boys clubs had created a Pozzy model for global peace and sustainability, it would probably look something like this. The pyramid operating system also favours an adversarial, hyper-competitive approach to life, work, and business, reducing relationships between individuals and between organisations to that of predator and prey. So, in a world increasingly shaped by the Pozzy, what's the word on the street from the billions of people nowhere near the top? The word on the street is, enough is enough. The word on the street is, there's an urgent need to move from a Pozzy to a Cozzy, from a human operating system based on the pyramid to one based on the circle. And just as P stands for more than pyramid, C stands for more than circle, because at the heart of the Cozzy there's an emphasis on connection, collaboration, and community, on being calm and centered, being creative, and intensely curious about what's going wrong in the world and how we can change that. It's about having a higher purpose and a level of consciousness that transcends the narrow notions of my tribe, my company, my religion, my country. A global consciousness that expands to embrace the entire planet and draws upon our collective wisdom. The word on the street is we need a new and contemporary type of leadership that embodies less of the Pozzy and more of the Cozzy. There's some good news in all of this. If you link your life, your work, and your leadership to this transition, you're well placed to improve not only one planet and its people, but also, if you're in business, profits. Because quite simply, the word on the street is be fair, be ethical, and we'll reward you. Now, let's dig a little deeper. The circle operating system is not synonymous with soft or weak. The Cozzy is not cozy. Why? Because it reflects reality, which is messy. Cozzy people see the world for what it is, a weirdly unpredictable yet interconnected flow of energy, matter, thoughts, feelings, living and non-living. And Cozzy people know that when you mix all those elements together, you get something the Pozzy is ill-equipped to handle: complexity and chaos. Increasingly, the word on the street and the word in the boardroom is the same. We are up to our necks in complexity and chaos, And we need thousands upon thousands of leaders who can sit with that. In every corner of every industry, country and community, we need a more sophisticated type of leadership. We need leaders who can view their business or their religion within a broader context, who can deal with shifting contexts, who are prepared to challenge the Pozzy way of operating. Above all, we need leaders who can initiate the courageous conversations we all must have about the root causes of global problems. How do these crises relate to the current dominant human operating system, the Pozzy? It's simply because there is a total disconnect between the Pozzy and reality. And by reality, we mean the non-negotiable nature of our planetary life support system. The fundamental flaw with the Pozzy is that its principles are based on an archaic view of the world. Pozzy evolved from the primitive set of beliefs and behaviours known as patriarchy. Patriarchy is the biggest P word around which we all need to have courageous conversations. Why? Because trying to change the world while ignoring patriarchy is like trying to go to the moon while ignoring gravity. Patriarchy is characterized by an obsession with control, and through the Pozzy to Cozzy transition, we are gradually escaping that control. But often, even when well-intentioned people are creating a Cozzy-style initiative, the toxic systemic influence of patriarchy remains unacknowledged. And so we get this, an attempt to build something better, but on a foundation that will actively undermine it. Attached to a patriarchal system, a Cozzy initiative may largely disappear beneath the quicksand. This partly explains phenomena like the glass ceiling and the bamboo ceiling, where the unwritten institutionalized rules of the game simply work against anyone not part of the dominant group. When we think of life at the top of the pyramid, we may picture a plush inner sanctum of leather chairs, mahogany desks and a well-stocked drinks cabinet. But look again and we see that even this oasis of opulence is actually inside a prison, a very large prison that holds all of us. Because patriarchy traps us all in a way that separates us from nature, separates us from each other, and separates us from ourselves. Over time, prisoners may get better meals, a better iPhone, even a better education, but they are still in prison. More and more, the people on the street realize this, and the word on the street is enough is enough. It is time to escape from this primitive prison. And that's what a new type of leader will help us to do. Detached from patriarchy, the circle human operating system will blend the best of human experience, from the many advances made during the Pozzy era to a more natural and sustainable way of being and living that dates back to our very beginnings and connects us once again to who we used to be and who we must become. The catalyst for all of this is a new type of leadership that sparks courageous conversations around notions of ethics, justice, exploitation. A new type of leadership that sees huge benefits for businesses and organizations that align themselves with this seismic shift towards a more nurturing and equitable world. A new type of leadership that, above all, fully comprehends that none of this can happen without simultaneously freeing our planet from patriarchy. Now that is an idea worth spreading.